So how do you create a brand that truly represents who you are and the products you sell, as well as building a business that you can scale online? That is what this podcast will help you do. My name is Henry Kaminski Jr., and welcome to the Brand Doctor Podcast.
Let me just make this statement loud and clear. Surgeon's here, surgeon's here.
What's shaking, everybody? Welcome to another Brand Doctor Podcast episode. Today, we're going to be talking about how is your brand performing in 2021. I'm going to walk you through some, let's just call it a mini audit, if you will. And I'm going to talk about some of the trends that I've been seeing over the past, I would say, 7 to 10 months that is really affecting marketing and branding in a very, very big way. And I want to make sure that you're up to speed on this stuff and your business is up to speed on this stuff so you don't get blown into the wind. Because here's the big problem, guys. We get very, very comfortable when things are going well. And we forget that building our brand and building our business is a forever move. It is not something that you set and forget, or you do once and leave it alone and it's going to be good for the next 50 years. It's not the way branding, marketing, and business works. You gotta constantly be looking for room for improvement. You gotta be constantly looking at the trends and the opportunities. You have to constantly make sure that you have a digital footprint out there in the world and that people can see you and hear you and feel you. And what happens is when things get good and things are going well, it's really easy to get fat. Right? You start buying some frivolous things, perhaps for or not for the business. And it's it's slow. This happens very, very slow. It's not something that happens like, ooh, all of a sudden, right? And next thing you know, you have all this overhead. You have a bunch of stuff that you don't really need, and you're bloating out your business, and that's a big problem. Okay, it's happened to me. Over the years, you start bringing, oh yeah, you know what? We got the money. Why don't we just hire this guy and hire that guy? And it's all like non-essential, right? It's all nice to haves instead of must haves. And COVID was a blessing for me and my business because COVID made me do a sharp pause and do a reassessment of all what was going on in my business. And I said, whoa, there's a bunch of nice to haves here that could be either paused or eliminated completely because they're not really necessary. And so we trimmed a lot of fat because of COVID. And what happened was we actually turned into a more efficient business. And I'm sure that has happened for you as well, especially going through this pandemic as a business owner. So right after this quick little message, I want to get into this little mini assessment, if you will, talk about some of the upcoming trends that I'm seeing here in end of 2020 and 2021 that's really impacting branding and marketing and help you get focused and dialed in to have a super successful year. If you're a business owner who feels your branding isn't truly representing the value that you deliver, check out this free video training that will help you level up your brand's messaging and online presence so that you can start attracting higher quality clients. Visit www.uniquedesigns with a Z at the end, not an S, .net/level up my branding. All right, so here's a couple of things that I want you to look into when it comes to your business, your online presence, and your brand aesthetic and your brand messaging, okay? So question number one is, does your logo or tagline say exactly what it is that you do? Okay. Give you a quick example. I'm working with a client right now. They they create amazing virtual and hybrid events. Okay. They just did a really awesome event with Panasonic. They've worked with GM. They worked with Disney and Metallica, some really, really big names, right? And the name of their sub brand, right, is called Virtual Venues. It's straight to the point. Like, boom. You get it. You get it. And I'll share with you another example. A client last year, their branding was so outdated that their homepage for their website was a ClickFunnels landing page. It really wasn't even a website. And they let that go for like 3 years before they reached out to me. Imagine the opportunity that was missed during that time had they figured it out right away. Like, oh, our messaging is off. We don't do that anymore. We're serving a new client base. We need to recalibrate our messaging, our look, our feel towards the new client, towards the new industry, towards a new market. So question number one. Question number two is this. Can you explain what you do to somebody in less than 20 seconds? Or less than 20 words. Less than 20 words. You know, the beauty of brand strategy is the refining of what it is that you do. That's where these big brands, they spend millions sometimes to get that message. Right? We're working with a brand strategy client right now, and we refined their message to made with love, not time. Because they're a meal kit company and they're very family oriented. So, you know, we took them through the strategy, and we went through a very, I call it the distillation process, and we were able to get to made with love, not time. That's powerful stuff. That's powerful stuff. So the less words you can use to explain what it is that you do to someone creates more impact and more clarity. People buy clarity. People buy impact. Okay. Next question. In 5 seconds of somebody hitting your website, is it clear, crystal clear, on what it is that your product or service provides and offers? If the answer is no, it may be time for you to level up that website. Bottom line. Next question. Is there a direct call to action on that website? Whether it be on the homepage, above the fold, in the top right, which is a huge prime piece of real estate, on the other pages that drive them to what it is that you want them to do, whether it be to book a demo, book a consultation, download this, fill out this, apply here, take this survey, whatever. Is it generating leads? Is it helping convert those leads into sales? Is it, what's the word I'm looking for? Is it clear on everything that the person is looking for? Can they easily find it? Big stuff here, right? Next question is, are you consistent with your marketing and using the same brand guidelines on everything that your audience sees? I think I talked about this on a previous episode. It might have been this or a live stream. I forget. I've been doing a lot of these lately, where I reached out to my client when I saw him post something, and I said, whoa. This is so off brand, dude. Don't even delete it, because people don't even know that it's your business. That's how off this ad looks. There was no color scheme consistency. There was no logo. There was not, the typography was way off. Like, it didn't even look like his business. And I was like, that is a huge no-no, man. You've spent so much money, so much time, so much energy into building this thing to what it is that it is today. It's been in business for like 3.5 years, 4 years at this point. Don't try to cut corners. Don't cut corners. So he took the post down and he redid it, and it looks spot on. So those are some of the things that you need to be paying attention to. We have a live viewer here saying consistency is so important. Repeat impressions solidify brand voice. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So those are some of the things that I want you to think about and pay attention to and question and sort of relook inside of your business to see if all of that stuff is up to par. Because if it isn't, it could affect tremendously the next half of this year on sales revenue and building that brand awareness online. Okay. So I promise a couple of trends that I'm seeing here that I want to point out. I've been spending a lot of time on Instagram and surveying my audience and asking them questions and doing IG lives, and really hearing the voice of the audience and what they're stressed out about, what they're asking about. And there's a couple things, right? There's a couple things. So a couple of trends that are impacting branding and marketing right now. One, uncertainty. COVID really, really put some fire on that one. There is a lot of uncertainty still, politically, from a health standpoint, etc. So understanding that your audience and the world right now has a feeling of uncertainty is very, very important for us as business owners to understand. Because if we can help them become more certain, become more confident, we're going to be the obvious choice. We're going to stand out from everybody else because of the way we're positioned. Okay. Next thing I'm seeing here is new philosophical ideas. I was just talking about this with a client yesterday, where the millennial era is going to be our clients, a large majority of our client base in the next 5 years or less. And you may even be serving them now. We have a few millennial clients right now, and it's a completely different experience. Very impressive, by the way. Very impressed. Very impressed. And understanding that they're all about story. They're all about purpose. They want to see the big picture. They're going to invest in somebody or some business that is aligned with their values. Very, very different than just having a great product or service and somebody just saying, you know what, that'll fix the problem real quick. Let's just go with that. No, this new ideology is all about story and narrative and understanding the big picture. So is your brand explaining that and going in and taking the time to explain that? Big question. Third thing, and you guys see this every day, but it's the technological disruption that's going out there right now. What people are doing with AI and VR, and it's insane. Drop in audio like Clubhouse. Keeping up with that, or at least making sure that you have somebody on your team that is keeping up with that, is very, very crucial. Very, very crucial. And how are you leveraging tech to get your brand out there, to create those collaborations, partnerships? Okay, so a couple notes here that I want to get through. I'm also seeing an alignment between corporate branding and personal branding, and this humanization of people's businesses. I'll share this with you. Yesterday, I put a post out on Instagram, and I said, "What kind of content would you like me to post more of? How can this account better serve you?" And guy reached out in the comments and said, I would love to see more of a human side of you. Like, what's your daily day look like? Now, this is for personal brands. Big brands could do this, but from a different angle. And we don't have time to get into that today. But if you're a personal brand out there, pay attention to this, all right? And I'll try to wrap some corporate branding around this as well. But what they were looking for is more of my perspective. All right, I'll leave it at that. More of my perspective. If you have a medium-sized business or a large business, you can share that perspective. You could share it through social media, through your posts. Look at Gucci. Gucci does a great job on Instagram of showcasing their perspective. So humanizing your brand and showcasing that personal touch is going to be huge, huge, huge in the future. Again, I'll say it until I'm dead. People buy people first, then they buy your product or service. So how can you humanize your brand? Okay. Another thing is big differentiator is user experience. What's your user experience look like for your customer, for your clients in 2021? Is it refined? Is it optimized? Is it seamless? If there's issues there, if there's roadblocks or bottlenecks there, I highly recommend you get those addressed. Okay? What about digital events and podcasts? We talked about this before. Very, very, very important to leverage these things. Okay? So I'm working with a couple clients now that I see synergies amongst each other, them, and I want to put them in touch with each other because one runs a big digital event company, the other one runs a meal kit company, and I could see some really cool synergies where the digital event company is the meal kit company is sponsoring the digital event company, and the meal kit company is drop shipping all the lunches to everybody that's on that digital event. I see that. I could see that from the outside. I could see that from above and say, oh, I can make this connection with a simple email and spark something really, really cool. So the big message I want you to get today is this. If you want to scale your ROI with your digital assets, it means you got to maximize the effectiveness of everybody that's on your branding, marketing, or design team. How do you do that? Pay attention. Pay attention to what is going on and look for the deficiencies. Look for what is happening in your industry and make sure that your brand and marketing team and or vendor is helping you stay ahead of that curve. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. Okay. Last but not least, question. Is your business being the change it wants to see in the world? Is your business being the change it wants to see in the world? Your audience is paying attention to that. So if you're saying one thing and doing another, that's a no-no. So continue to practice what you preach, and you'll see a huge uptick in brand loyalty. Okay? Because brand consistency builds trust. Trust sells, and people buy trust. That's what they buy when they invest in you. So, real quick, guys, here's what I want you to do. I want you to screenshot this episode, and I want you to tag me in my Instagram account in your story So screenshot this, put it in your story, and tag at the brand DR. And I will repost this and give you a huge shout out as a thank you for tuning in today. So make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you leave a review, make sure that you do all of those fancy things if you're watching this or listening to this. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in, and thank you so much for your continued support. Got some really cool stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks, and I'm excited to roll it out. So have an amazing, amazing day, guys, and we will catch you on the next episode real soon.
Hey everyone, this is Henry Kaminski Jr. again, and really quick, I want to invite you to a one-on-one consult with me right now if you're looking for the clarity and focus you need to build your brand. Over the past 13 years, I've served hundreds of entrepreneurs that have great products but struggled tremendously with articulating its value to their ideal customers. You didn't get into business to just change a few lives, did you? Your ideal clients need you. And when your brand has precision-crafted messaging coupled with beautifully thoughtful design that sounds, looks, and feels like you, they'll know you're the perfect match for them. If this is something you're struggling with, what I want you to do right now is pause this audio and go visit www.uniquedesigns with a Z at the end, not an S, .net, and book your one-on-one consult call with me. Remember, the quality of your brand will determine the quality of your clients, and the quality of your clients will determine the quality of your life.